Hi, I'm Wayne Ferree, professional stone carver, and Mike Haddock and I were down at the Scranton Albright Memorial Library in the Scranton, Pennsylvania Gothic district of town. And we looked at the Scranton Memorial Albright Library, we looked all around it, we talked about it, and I had mentioned that I would like to demonstrate how we would replicate one of the little features on the entryway. And this little guy is he's like a little grotesque and not really a gargoyle. A gargoyle was something that was up on a roof, and it was drilled usually through the throat, and water draining off the roof would come out the throat and off the building. So a lot of times a gargoyle is referred to like a little monster type thing. But technically this is a little grotesque. And you see that a lot in Gothic carving. And so we took a picture of it, and then we have a nice picture of it, and we're going to do a little carving demonstration. Now this is a drawing of that carving, and I took measurements on it. If we were going to actually really replicate this carving, I would use these measurements and make it exactly like the way it is here. But for this instance, we're not really going to be replacing that stone. We're just using that as a little demonstration of how to do a little carving like this. So we got a stone that's fairly appropriate for that purpose. If you look on the left side of this stone, you'll see how this is kind of notched out with tool marks, which is basically what happened here. Now this may have been done by hand. It certainly was done by hand in here, but this part of it may have been done on a planer. So that's how that's accomplished. But for our purpose, we're just going to do a little carving in here, and we'll probably change the background and whatnot a little bit. But this is how we're going to get started. Actually, I think ear to ear he's 3 7/8, and ear to snout he's about 3 3/8. But I'm not sure that really matters. We're just really going to draw this on freehand. Okay, we're going to put a little border down along here and down in here, and then down this side. And then up in here, we might just echo this little profile here. That's kind of sweet. We can clean that up with the chisel. And then in here, I might make a shape, like a gouge shape. And then in the center here, we're going to have our little guy. And he's going to be peering out. You know, he's checking things out. He wants to know what's going on. You heard there were some new books at the library. He's going to peek at them later when everybody goes. So his shoulder's kind of in here. He's got a high shoulder. His elbow's sticking out here. And he's got his little paw here. Looks like he's been working out at the gym. He's got some big guns going on there. It'd help him get into mischief, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, and then his chest is in here. And his little foot is coming out. And he's got his little 3-toed paw. Or maybe there's a 4th toe over there. Okay. And he's kind of hanging onto this foliage that's just kind of coming out. And that's going to come right out from underneath here. And this is almost kind of like what we talked about if you look at that video that we did at the Albright Memorial Library. I think this would be kind of referred to as a crocket. It's kind of like got a ball shape to it, and then it's just a leaf, and then it kind of turns in. That's a kind of a traditional crocket is what they're called, crockets. And so here's his little nose, and he's got these beady little eyes. Now, one thing I wanted to mention on our drawing, if you look over, or on our picture, if you look over here at the left gargoyle, he's not quite as weathered, and you can see a little more definition. He's got some whiskers here, He's got a cheekbone, and he can see his little eyes, his eyebrows, and he's got eyelids under there. This guy's been in the weather a little more. Maybe it was a different grade of stone, maybe a little not quite as tight grained as this one. I think probably though, because the way this is situated, this got a little less weather on it than this one, but it's weathered a little bit. But we know that somewhere in here he's got these little whiskers, and I think actually his head is tilted more that way. Okay, so up here we maybe we'll just come in here and we'll make another little kind of like Crockett type thing up there, and that'll be pretty much it. Maybe we'll have a little thing coming up here. And maybe we'll have a little thing there. Okay, I'm going to get started here. First of all, I'm going to try and define this border. Okay, what we're doing right now is we're roughing out this carving. And the thing to think about is what is going to be the closest point of this carving to the surface. And in this case, it's probably going to be his nose, because he's crouching forward, and I know from the measurements that is the case. He's crouching forward and he's sticking his head out so we can see what's going on. And so the foremost feature on any head is the nose, and so that is going to be the first spot on this carving that's going to be closest to this level right here. Now the thing is, when you're carving, you keep losing your line, so you have to keep kind of redrawing it as you go. After you get enough experience, you kind of have an idea of where things are. I'm going to rough out this head a little bit more and around the shoulders, so I can kind of gauge where my depth of this is going to be. Now on the head, it's like a head is like this. We'll draw this up here. This is his head here, and here's his nose, and then his jaw is going to be coming down here. His eyes are up here, and his jaw is going to be coming down here. So right at this point, that's the point that's going to be sticking out most on his nose. So we're going to keep that point probably where it is. We might knock it back down a little bit, maybe into here somewhere. I'm not sure. But we want to define where this jaw is going to be, and his eyebrows and his snout and that sort of thing. And that'll be the starting point